Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the University of Manchester Middle East Centre's online information session on the Masters in Real Estate programme. My name is William Walsh, and I am one of the programme counsellors here at the University of Manchester Middle East Centre, and I also do other things for the university here as well. I will be taking you through some of the aspects of the real estate programme here today, and with me, my colleague from admissions, Remy Matias. If you'd like to introduce yourself as well, Remy.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Remy Matias, and I work as the team lead of the recruitment office of the University of Manchester. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. I'm going to be walking you through the application process. So if you have questions about the entry requirements, I will take you through that at a later stage of the presentation.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Remy. Thank you. We'll see you later. So here's the agenda for today's session. So I'll briefly introduce you the City of Manchester as well as the University of Manchester back in the UK, of course, and then we'll go over some of the details about the University of Manchester Middle East Centre, and then we'll get stuck into the programme details. So the overview, the structure, requirements, programme fees as well, and application process for your information. We'll have a short Q&A towards the end of the session, so please feel free to keep your questions until then, and you'll even be able to unmute yourselves to ask us your questions if you'd like. If not, you can ask your questions in the chat. Not a problem at all. We'd be happy to reply to them there as well. So first and foremost, a bit about Manchester. So as some of you may know, Manchester in the UK is the second largest city in the UK after the capital London, of course, renowned for its vibrant cultural scene. Some of the world's greatest musicians and artists come from Manchester. So you may have heard of the group, the music group Oasis. Or Benedict Cumberbatch, who's actually the actor of Mr. Doctor Strange in the Avengers. He's actually one of our graduates from the University of Manchester as well. Manchester is home to two of the biggest football teams in the world as well. So it's a very big sporting city, as you may know, Manchester United and Manchester City, especially that City actually has a stake in here, well, as part of the Middle East, because Abu Dhabi obviously have a stake in Manchester City, so it has some sort of relationship with the region. But Manchester is also a leading powerhouse of social movements and pioneering capitalism. It's also the place where the first atom was discovered by actually Ernest Rutherford, who won a Nobel Prize in physics because it actually launched the field of nuclear physics, his discovery. And it's also the place where the first computer was built. So as you can imagine, it's a place known for its vision, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit as well. So that's a little introduction for Manchester, for all of you here. A bit about the University of Manchester. So it was established back in 1824, so it's nearly 2 centuries old, nearly 200 years old in a couple of years' time. So as you can imagine, it is an elite university who's had the time to really develop its program into world-leading, world-class programs back in the UK and all over the world now. Some of its rankings currently, so 6th in the UK, 8th in Europe, and 27th globally. That's as the QS World University Rankings 2021. So as you can imagine, it is an elite and a prestigious university that is recognized worldwide, not only in the UK or in Europe, but really globally. It's actually 5th in the UK for planning by the Complete University Guide of 2019. So this is as part of the Department of Planning and Environmental Management. So this integrates real estate as well, of course. And the university actually has 25 Nobel Prize winners. So we're the 23rd university with the most amount of Nobel Prize winners. So that just shows yet again the quality of the lecturers, of the research that is being led in Manchester, and therefore the quality of the education that comes out of that as well. So now moving on to the University of Manchester Middle East Centre, which is of course based here out of Dubai in the UAE. It was established back in 2006. We have had around 100 plus different nationalities here in the region on all of our different programs ever since the start back in 2006. We've graduated 1,800 plus students from the MBA program, for example. That is our actual flagship program that has been running since back in 2006. So it has the greatest number of graduates. And of course, we've supported over 2,800 students across all the different programs since 2006 as well. So that's the great thing about the center itself. It has a very big number of alumni based out of the Middle East as well, and you will be able to connect with them throughout the course of your journey, and even after you complete your program as well. You will be part of this regional network as well as the global network as well. So currently we offer 5 different programs at the University of Manchester. So for your information, we have the Manchester Global Part-time MBA, the Kelly Manchester Global Part-time MBA, the Part-time MSc Real Estate program, the Part-time MA Educational Leadership and Practice program, the Part-time Masters in Financial Management as well. And to let you know, Dubai, the Middle East Center, is actually part of a worldwide network of centers. So as you can see on the map to your left here, Dubai is one of the global centers. We actually have 5 other centers. So Shanghai, Sao Paulo in South America and Brazil. We have Hong Kong, Singapore, and the main campus, which is based out of Manchester, of course. So Manchester really decided to take the step to make sure that world-class education is accessible no matter where you are in the world. So it's not about if you're in the UK, if you're in Europe, you have access to these types of programs. We really wanted to make sure that people that live here in the Middle East and Asia and other places in the world actually can study from where they are, because obviously you all have families and work probably in these different locations. So it would be unreasonable of us to actually ask you to leave all that behind to go study for a couple of years back in Manchester. So that's the purpose behind the creation of these centers, to make these sort of programs accessible to everyone. Moving on now to the Masters in Real Estate program. So a bit of introductory details here. So the MSc Real Estate program is actually a 2-year program, so a 24-month program, which is delivered here in the Middle East. It's actually accredited by the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, the RICS. And for those of you who work in the field of real estate, construction, etc., I'm sure you will know the importance and value of the RICS, especially for those of you that are looking to get that membership after this program, for example, in the future. You will have the opportunity to visit us twice a year for an interactive course conferences with leading academics and real estate practitioners. So I'll get onto that a bit later on when I talk about the structure of the program, but you will be able to visit us here and get in contact with the other students and faculty from the UK as well, because our entire faculty is based out of the UK, and we actually fly them to the UAE several times a year for course conferences and workshops. We also used our applied learning method. So the Manchester method, which is called learning by doing, is a method which is very practical. So we take a very practical approach during all of our programs, which means that you have no written seated exams. This means that we wouldn't ask you to travel either to the UAE, or for those of you who live here in the UAE, to come to the center to sit an exam, simply because the way we assess you is usually through group projects and personal assignments as well, just because we want to make sure that all the knowledge that is being provided to you is actually being put into practice in your own environment, in your own professional environment. So we really, really focus and stress that a lot here at the university. It's all about applied learning, because that's the best way of actually remembering all the different frameworks and all the content, and you'll be able to put it into practice. That will have an impact on your own career, because you will have an impact on your business and your performance as well. The real estate program is actually organized around 4 main themes. So as you can see here, commercial awareness, globalization, sustainability, synergies, and connections between units as well. And of course, we have 50 plus years of teaching experience in planning and environmental management, which of course the real estate program, as I previously mentioned, is a part of. So our faculty, the staff on this program and other programs in the planning and environmental management sector are actually very, very experienced professionals. And talking about experienced professionals, I'd like to introduce to you the team that is leading the program, starting with our program director, Mark Sheppard here, who's actually a chartered food surveyor with 30 years experience in practice and in education. So he also has academic posts at South Bank, Salford, and Manchester universities. He's also an external examiner for Sheffield, Hallam, Reading, Glasgow, Caledonian University, Oxford Brookes University as well, Heriot Watt University and Limerick Institute of Technology. So he is very, very influential across all these real estate programs across many different universities. He's also worked for Wavison Young, of course. He's a self-employed consultant for over 20 years, also a fellow of the RICS and HEA, which is very valuable. And he is an RICS APC assessor. So he can actually help you with your interest in maybe pursuing RICS membership after you complete this program as well. He would be a good guide for you. So there's that sort of value in addition to what he's going to teach you throughout this program, which is very, very useful. With him is also Selma Carson, who is a second sort of course director on the program. She will focus on asset management. You also have all the other doctors, Dr. Soterios Thanos, Dr. Yishuan, Dr. Aero, and Professor Richard Kingston, Professor Anupam Nanda as well, for all these different aspects of the real estate program. Now, before we move on to different details of the program itself, I'd like to show you a couple of words and share with you a couple of words from our course director, Mark Sheppard himself. And to do that, I'm just gonna, if you allow me, I'm going to share sound. I hope you can all hear.
In which a course like this might contribute. I mean, the first one is about upskilling. You know, if somebody wants to progress, often they need that academic qualification to progress in their own profession. There's also the professional qualification that, as an RICS accredited program, it leads to that professional recognition. And certainly what we are finding is that clients in periods of uncertainty in particular want that stamp of approval, that guarantee of quality, that mark of professionalism. And certainly we have students inquiring with us who are saying, look, you know, I've got tons of experience, but, you know, I need that academic and professional qualification to kind of hit the button with the international clients who are looking for that consistent standard.
Brilliant. So I hope these were inspiring words from our course director, Mark Sheppard.
Well, there are several.
And we'll just move on now. So significance of real estate in the global economy. So as you very well may know, especially for those of you who are in real estate, the value of real estate, I mean, just look at it, right? It's around 280 trillion US dollars. If you look at residential, it's around $220 trillion itself. And so it has a great, great importance in the global economy and has real value. And that's why recent research has actually highlighted the need for real estate professionals to add value by providing leadership in solving business problems rather than simply offering traditional techniques and skills. And therefore, it only makes sense to sort of take up the course that combines academic excellence with transferable skills that are essential for career in real estate, especially from a reputable university such as the University of Manchester. And, you know, along with acquiring the skill set to build a career in real estate, as well as gain a master's qualification from one of the universities, the best universities in the world, this program also satisfies the entry requirements for the RICS, just as I previously mentioned, and just as Professor Mark Sheppard mentioned before as well. So that has really, really big significance for real estate professionals as well. Moving on now. So what do we mean by real estate? So currently we're looking at 4 different things here. So appraisal and valuation, investment and finance, planning and development, and asset management as well. So with appraisal and valuation, of course, it's putting economic value in real estate for all sorts of purposes. It is also about putting performance and looking at other types of value and not just the economic value of real estate. As well as that, investment and finance, how we fund real estate, where we invest our money, what options are available in real estate, and investment opportunities, either buying a property, stocks, etc. With regard to planning and development, it's the supply side of the industry. So when, how, where, and why do you develop a property? And then, of course, asset management, we're looking at what you do with your property once you own it, from the property owner's perspective, as well as the occupier as a business. Now, in relation to the way we deliver the program, now this is very important as well, because for many of you, you will be working professionals here in the Middle East, so you will have different commitments, which include family commitments, work commitments, and all these other things that you do. So it's important that the program that you select, that you choose, actually takes that into account and sort of organizes itself around your work and your family commitments as well. And that's why we deliver our programs through the blended learning format. Blended learning basically means that you'll have an online component as well as a face-to-face component. It's a good mix with having obviously the opportunity to meet students and faculty here in the UAE and having the opportunity to work with them as well online from your own countries as well. So as you can see here, you'll have access to the e-learning space to maximize your opportunity to learn at your own pace alongside work and personal commitments, as I mentioned. So that means you'll have access to our virtual campus, which is called Blackboard, which is where you can find all the program details, the program resources, where you'll have your online tutorials and lectures. There will, of course, always be recorded for your own convenience, so that in the event you do miss one or two because you're working or you'd like to rewatch one, you'll be able to access them 24/7. So that's not a problem at all. As well as that, residential conferences. So as I did mention, you will have the opportunity to travel to the UAE if you're not already here to meet the faculty as well as students and other colleagues as well on the program. You have the blend of applied learning as well, which is whereby you will do a lot of practical work, so personal essays, group projects, etc. So no written exam. So that sort of integrates in the fact that it is easier to study a program that has that sort of aspect where you can sort of organize your time and yourself around the different projects that you may have to complete throughout the course of the program. And then action learning. So in small groups, you will be able to tackle some work-related issues, and you're learning with the support of your peers as well, which is very much important, of course. Moving on now, so we're looking at the program structure. Now, this is probably one of the most important slides, of course, because this is where you'll learn a bit more about how we deliver the program. So, of course, I've explained the blended learning. So, as you will see, this is obviously throughout the entire 2 years of the program, and this is exactly how it's going to work. So, your semesters, which are around 6 months long, so as you can see, they go from September to February, and then from February to August. And so as you can see here, every semester you'd be studying 2 different modules. So what will happen is that one module is 10 weeks long. So for example, in your first year, you have real estate markets in semester 1. That's a 10-week long module. You'll have 8 weeks of actual learning, going through some of the material, going through that with the faculty as well and other colleagues. And then you'll have 2 weeks to submit the assessment for that particular module. Once that is done, once you've completed the 10 weeks, you'll then move on to property valuation, etc. So then you'll move on to semester 2, which is planning for future cities and land development, etc. And as you can see, in every semester, you'll actually have a 3-day course conference here in the UAE. So when I was saying that you'll have the opportunity to travel to the UAE, for those of you who are in the UAE, to come to the center and to meet the faculty, if possible, of course, depending on the COVID situation at the time, it will either be online, but we're hoping it will be face-to-face by next September, hopefully. So you'll have these 3 days course conferences every semester. So if you count, there will be around 12 days of face-to-face throughout the entire program, split over the course of every semester. So these are 3 days of studying. So these are full days of studying. So you will have to take some time off work. They usually last from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So it is important that you do schedule your leave accordingly with your employer to make sure that you can attend these course conferences, as they do have real value and significance. We have the faculty, we have other industry experts as well that will do talks at these course conferences. So they are very much worth your while. So I hope that that's very clear. Obviously, if you have any questions with regards to the structure of the program, etc., you can always ask questions towards the end of the presentation, as we will have a Q&A session. To clarify as well, in your second year, if you do have the opportunity to travel to the UK to attend workshops in Manchester instead, if that is something that you'd like to do instead of coming to the UAE, that is an option available to you. And in terms of flexibility, I'd just like to add that although it is a 2-year, 24-month program, in the event you need to take some time off because of personal commitment, family work, big projects, changing companies, etc., you will have the opportunity to extend the program to up to 5 years. So that means if you need to take 6 months off or a year off in between the semesters, that's not a problem at all. We just put the program on pause. We won't be obviously asking for any sort of tuition fees. It won't have an impact on your grades either. It's just merely you putting the program on pause and then completing it once you're back on track. Now then, regarding what types of graduates will it produce? So as you can see, students develop a comprehensive understanding of the role of real estate in society, business, and particularly to the end user. Our graduates understand that a long-term perspective is essential to the success, development, and management of real estate assets. So you will develop the commercial awareness skills you need to provide leadership in solving business problems. You'll be able to build a framework of knowledge, understanding, and skills to enable you to take a leading role in addressing the challenges facing the real estate industry. You'll draw upon the world-class research and practical experience as well of the School of Environment, Education and Development, and you'll of course develop a solid grounding in real estate from the perspectives of investor, of developer, occupier, and the broader society as well. So before we move on to requirements and admissions, I'd just like to go through this last slide with you all here, which is the career opportunities. So as you can see here on the right-hand side of your screen, these are some of the companies for whom our alumni and students work for. So as you can see, Rolls-Royce, EDF, BP, ARUP, Jacobs, and the Environment Agency, Atkins, AECOM. So these are some of the biggest names, of course, in real estate and related to real estate as well in some sort of way. And then as you can see, you can consider the careers in these fields as well, which are environmental management consultancy, urban planning and design, real estate development, urban and regional development policy, central and local government, international development, energy and water, non-governmental organizations, and research as well. So it's a very, very broad spectrum of activities that you can actually consider after you complete the Masters in Real Estate program that we deliver here at the University of Manchester. So now I'll pass it on to my colleague Remy, who will actually take you through some of the details regarding the requirements for the program, some of the costs related as well, the tuition of the program, and of course the admissions process, which is of course very important for those of you who'd like to take the next step and apply for our Masters in Real Estate program.
Thank you, William. We're going to be going through the process in depth. And I just wanted to start off with the academic requirements. And just to give a heads up to everyone, we're very selective with our students. And that's mainly linked to the reputation of the university. At the moment, we've already processed a couple of applications, and I'll start off with the academic requirements. We will require at least a first class or a 2-1 bachelor honors degree or an international equivalent. So for most of you who are holding an international qualification, we're looking at the Class B or a 3.0 for an American GPA curriculum or an 80% pass. So that will be an equivalent of the 2-1 honors. And in case you're holding a 2-2 classification, this is an equivalent of a C grade or a 73% or a 2.0 in an American curriculum. And in case you do hold a 2-2 class honors degree, we will require you to have at least 1 year of relevant work experience. So how does that mean to you? It means that if you hold a 2-1 honors degree, regardless if you're a fresh graduate or if you have not been working in a relevant work experience, considering you have a first class honors or a 2-1 classification, the University of Manchester's admissions committee will evaluate and make a decision based on your academic qualification alone. Whilst a 2-2 class honors degree, we will require to have at least a 1 year relevant work experience. And this is going to be linked to your professional references, which I'll get to that component shortly. We will also be evaluating a candidate who doesn't have a bachelor's degree, but has 8 years of relevant work experience, and that will be through the experiential route. We've seen a candidate who has been accepted in the program through this experiential entry option. In terms of the English language competency, we do recognize several English exams, which includes the IELTS, and we will require 6.5 overall with a 6.0 in listening, writing, reading, and speaking. So with the 6.5, we require that specifically on the writing skills because you will be doing a lot of writing in this program. In terms of your TOEFL scores, we will be requiring 90 overall with a 20 in listening, writing, reading, and speaking backed. We also recognize PTE academic and the Cambridge CPE or CAE. We have candidates as well at the time of application. They can secure to do Pearson test, which is provided by the university, and they are allowed to take the assessment on first attempt. In the event that they don't meet the required scores, then they will have to look for other options. And the options I've mentioned just now. And please take a note that all English language test has a validity of 2 years. So we won't be recognizing any exam for more than that allowable period. Let's go to the next slide. The full cost of the program. So you're looking at an overall investment of 16,800 British pounds. And this is going to be payable in 4 equal installments. So if we're looking at it on a timeline of 6 months, and that is if you're not taking breaks in between semesters. Just to give you a heads up as well. We've had this program initially launched in the Dubai Student Service Center back in September of 2020. And the initial tuition fee launch cost was 21,000 British pounds. But because of the pandemic, we've been receiving a lot of scholarship applications and we've processed a lot of discretionary discounts as well. Thus, the university has made a conscientious effort of reducing the tuition fees from 21,000 British pounds to 16,800. And I'm sure most of you have seen that in all of our social media campaigns. So the reduced tuition fee is 16,800, and this is inclusive of the 5% VAT. So at the time of acceptance, you're going to be receiving an offer letter from the university. Once you receive the offer letter, you are given only 2 weeks to make a decision. And once you're decided, you can accept the offer by paying a 1,000 British pounds deposit. This 1,000 will be part of your first installment or your first semester tuition fees. So you're looking at paying 4,200 British pounds in every semester, which is 6 months long. Now, in the event that you would like to take breaks in between, you will be allowed to do so, provided that you don't go beyond 5 years. And the advantage of this is that your 16,800 will be freezed up until you complete the program within the allowable time of 5 years. So should there be any tuition fee increases in between, you will not be affected of that. We've started processing applications for the September 2021 intake. And that leads me as well to the next page of my presentation.
Absolutely. I'd just like to clarify very quickly, Remy, for those of you who've maybe spotted it, the first installment is actually £3,200. So it's not 3,725, just to make sure the calculation's right. But just for your information, it is £3,200, which is in total 16,800.
Thank you, William. So this is the application process, and I'm going to walk you through in every single detail. We are a team of 6 in this office, and we all are trained program counselors. And that will be part of the first step, and that is to check the admission requirements and application deadlines. So for any one of you who are present in this session, and after this info session, if you wish to get in touch with any of your program counselors, if you have not been assigned, please feel free to send us a message on the chat group, and we will make sure that a person will be getting in touch with you first thing in the morning tomorrow. And the second step will be for you to send your CV. It's very important that we'll look at the work experience, your career achievements, and for us to be able to give you an initial assessment in terms of your eligibility in the program. So this will be a personalized one-to-one counseling session between the program counselor and a prospective candidate. Once everything is clear, you're going to be encouraged to complete the online application form. And this is where you will be uploading a copy of your detailed CV, your degree certificates. We will require the original copies in case they are in your native language. And we will also be requiring a copy of an official translation stamped by an official translation office. We will also be requiring a copy of your degree transcripts. And this is mainly because we will have to look at your GPA, as I did mention in the initial slide. Towards the latter part, in case you don't have the English test as of yet, because we do understand you might be needing time to prepare, this is something that you can provide before the start of your intake in September. As I did mention, you will have an option to take an in-house test, which will be offered to you by the Pearson VEPT. And that is something that your program counselors can explain to you in detail after the session. We'll also be requiring you to provide us with 2 references. One will be an academic reference in case you are a fresh graduate and you haven't started working. We will require to provide 2 academic references. But for those of you who are already working and you think that having access to your previous university would be a challenge, that's perfectly understandable. Thus, the references will all be professional references. So there will be a standard format. A professional reference needs to be sent out using the company email address, or they will have to write the recommendation letter on the company letterhead. Now let's go to the next step. Interview with admissions committee, if required. So this is for a candidate whom we think we will require additional information, and perhaps some of the documents you have submitted aren't clear enough. And that's exactly why a supporting statement of minimum of 500 words will be necessary, because this should encapsulate things as to what attracted you to apply in the MSc Real Estate program. What do you hope to gain from this course? And how will it help you achieve your career goals or aspirations. So in the event that after providing all these documents, we still wanted to have more information through an interview with the admissions committee in Manchester, this is going to be pre-scheduled, and you will be advised well in advance. Then after the entire qualifying process, a final decision will be made by the admissions committee. And this is exactly why it's very important that you apply well in advance in the program. We've seen a success rate from our students when they apply well in advance, because they end up being prepared months before the start of the intake. And in case out of all these required documents, it's only the English test that is outstanding, feel free to work with your program counselor, and we can get the process started. And a conditional offer can be sent out to you with the condition that you will be providing us with the English test before the start of the intake. Let's go to the next slide.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Rams. You may want to, I was going to say, you may want to introduce this gentleman to everyone here today. I know that you've dealt with this particular student, Oliver Higgins, and he's actually one of the first students on the program last year as well. So this is his testimonial provided by him for the university. And you may want to explain his particular situation and how he came onto this program.
That's right. Oliver Higgins is a British national, and he's been here in the UAE working for Eagle Hills Real Estate as a senior development manager. When I first spoke to him, his first question is, Remy, I don't have a bachelor's degree, but I've done university college credits, but I was unable to actually complete it. And the first concern I do have is, how many years of work experience do you hold? And Oliver has always been in the field of real estate, and he's been there for 10 years, 10 long years. And at that time of application, he already provided me with 2 professional references, all coming from the management department of Eagle Hills Real Estate. So this is a very straight cut example of the experiential entry route. He was able to show to the admissions committee in Manchester that he deserves a place. And true to that, if you would like to share, William, his experience so far based on his testimonial.
Yeah, obviously. So let's just go through that very quickly. So far, the program has been great. The learning interface has been brilliant, and the tutors have been very helpful whenever required. For potential applicants, I'd highly recommend it and also encourage them to take advantage of the great learning materials available and the assistance of the professor. So as he very clearly states, this is a faculty-led program. So you won't be let out in the blue just studying at your at your own convenience, in the sense that you won't just go through the program by yourself. It is very much faculty-led, where they will support you throughout the entire program. And that's why you don't join the program whenever you want. You join in September to make sure that you follow the structure of the program, that everything is very clear and straightforward, and that you do make the most of the program that you're embarking on, as it is still a 2-year commitment, as you very well know by now. So we really thank Oliver for his great testimony and for his great insight as well on the program. And we're not done yet, because I'll just move on to the next slide, where we've got a few other students, alumni, who would like to share their experience with all of you with regards to our Masters in Real Estate program.
And I think because the course covers quite like a wide range of topics, it actually helps you identify what you want to do, like which sort of pathway you want to go down. Whether Elizabeth is currently doing investment, myself, I do asset management. So you kind of get a taste of each, and then you can kind of decide from there.
Studying real estate whilst in the industry is probably one of my greatest achievements. It's not easy studying and working at the same time. It brings your skill set, industry knowledge and academia together. You know, the Masters actually complements my day job quite well. They cover modules such as property valuation, investment finance, which goes into the deeper theory of what we do and how we do it. And the Masters also teaches other modules that basically view every aspect of real estate and all corners of the industry, which is really good.
So at the moment, the changes seem to just be quite short term. So like my office, we've got glass screens, we limit contact where possible. But I think it'll be interesting to think about the lasting changes. So the days of kind of going into the office to kind of do work, I think will be gone. I think we'll go in for a specific purpose, so client meetings or collaboration, and landlords will have to think about what will need to change in order to meet these changes in the way we use them.
I think we need to sell ourselves, it's not just about bricks and mortar and buildings and all the rest of it. It's far, far bigger than that. And the responsibility we have through the built environment all around the world to make change is enormous over, the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years plus.
I think in terms of minimizing risk, one of the biggest challenges is trying to reduce void periods in portfolios, especially in the office market at the minute. As Hattie touched on, that there's this movement to a work from home model, which seems to be quite favourable at the minute, and doesn't seem to be going away, seems to be getting stronger every day.
Brilliant. So I hope that that's given you a bit of insight as per some of the students and of the real estate program today, of course. I believe we've got to the end of our presentation here today. I hope that a lot of what we've shared with you has been useful. Of course, if you have any sort of questions that you'd like to ask us, we're more than happy to take them now. We still have some time on our hands as well, so we're not going anywhere. And you're more than welcome to ask some of your questions in the chat, and to otherwise unmute yourself and ask a question to either myself or Remy. We'll be happy to answer these questions for you. Anyone has any questions at all? Right, I have one here. Someone asking about the degree certificate and if it would be issued out of the UK. So yes, absolutely. With regards to the degree certificate, so it will be issued back in Manchester in the UK. So it's exactly the same as those actually undertaking the Masters in Real Estate program back in Manchester. So there won't be any sort of mention of Middle East, of part-time, online, planning, or any of these things. It will purely just mention the MSc Real Estate program. So obviously it will be recognised back in the UK. It is an international recognised degree as well, which can be used in any country across the globe. Of course, coming from one of the top universities worldwide, there is no reason why it wouldn't. And so I hope that answers your question.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Hi, Mohammed.
Yeah, it's fine. I'd like just to ask one question.
Please.
Yeah, it was really great presentation. I thank you for your great support. We had too much information and I'm so much interested really. But I have one question regarding, do you have any in the materials which we're supposed to study something after pandemic? You know that everything has been changed lately after COVID-19. So sure, there is new regulation and even specification in each industry. It is like real estate, even business, and all over the world. So do we have anything which we will get more info regarding what it can be real estate after pandemic?
And that's a fabulous question, Mohammed, and thank you very much for asking that. It's absolutely relevant, of course, because of all the changes that are being undertaken as we speak. And it is extremely relevant. Whatever happens during the course of the program, I mean, you will encounter, real estate markets is one of the modules. You'll have the legal aspect of real estate as well, which is one of the modules as well. All these modules actually have a very strong component of case studies and real life examples, and they are constantly updated as per what is happening out there in real life in the real markets as well. So as I previously mentioned, it's a very practical program. So we do pride ourselves in making sure that our information is up to date and relevant with what is happening around the world. So I would expect our professors to use the current examples that are taking place out there in the market, and they will, of course, be updating their material and their examples as per what they would expect the future of real estate to be, especially with regards maybe to office space and other sort of residential markets as well after the impact of COVID. So I would definitely expect professors to have an element of post-COVID relevant sort of regarding real estate. Absolutely. I hope that answers your question, Mohammed.
Thank you so much.
If I can add as well, Mohammed, just to give you an overview, you're going to be studying alongside real estate professionals, and they're all coming from different parts of the Middle East, and that is on your first year. So the last intake we had was in September, and we've had students from Oman, UAE, as well as in Saudi Arabia, and they're all sharing their viewpoints as to how the pandemic has affected their region or their country in specific. So in your case, I'm sure you will be able to share a significant contribution or an impact in your country, and other students enrolled in your class will also be learning a lot from you.
Thank you. That's very helpful. And I'd like just to note about one thing. Actually, all participants, which I think they are based in Dubai, they all either they're working in real estate business or they need to exceed their ability and qualification that they can work clever and get more ambitious in that industry. This is why actually everybody needs now the practical knowledge, which is like after pandemic. So your reviews about these students will be really very helpful for us, so we could know what it can be in the future. And thank you so much for your help. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. It definitely means a lot, and it absolutely, we do pride ourselves in having very highly qualified individuals on these programs, which have a lot of insight as well on their specific field of interest, which of course for this program is real estate. And just to clarify as well, for example, of course, this program has been designed in the UK and does touch upon real estate markets in the UK as well, as a lot of examples and case studies which are relevant across the world as well, because some of the knowledge and concepts that are applied in the UK and European markets would also apply worldwide. But of course, they will be taking a regional point of view as well with some of you, because obviously they do know that the Middle East Centre is offering this real estate program here, and they of course adapted to what you can expect here in the Middle East. And that's why at course conferences as well, we bring industry experts from the Middle East, very highly qualified one, of course, that can bring additional insight to all of you, and that will really push upon all these different aspects that you are looking for, that insight that you're looking for, Mohammed, as well. So very, very much tailored as well to this region.
If I may emphasize as well, I'm sure, William, you've brought this up a while ago, that on the second year, they will have an option to fly to Manchester to attend their course conferences. So your viewpoints, Mohammed, as to how it is in the UAE, how did the pandemic affected the real estate market here? By the time you decide to attend your course conference in the UK on your second year, you will definitely be able to share that experience to those who are residing in the UK or in Europe, for that matter. We're very excited for you, Mohammed. I'm really looking forward that one of our program counselors can get in touch with you as soon as possible.
You know, Remy, I tell you something. I've been actually to UK. I've been in Manchester even, and so I actually had too much to be done even in the UK market. That's why I'd like just to note about one thing. You know, guys, in the Middle East, we consider actually markets here like emerging markets. Even if it's in Dubai or Egypt, Morocco, that's always emerging market in compare with established markets in UK, Germany, Japan, USA. That's why actually the question was based about the after pandemic, even the established market in United States and in Europe have been affected. That's why all the knowledge which we have seen in the past, like the investment, pure investment, how to make the off-plan projects and how to let the customers even save and put their money step by step, and they can do the resale. Now, after COVID-19, has been too much things changed, even the knowledge of real estate. That's why I was expecting actually that I'm sure, and I'm 100% sure that in your leadership there and then the professors, sure they have some new knowledge right now, which is connected with this is why. But actually, I've been in UK, and thanks Remy for your invitation. And it's nice to be there. I miss Manchester United, especially actually, But so now we're concerned actually more about the Dubai, which is emerging market, or I mean, it's Middle East. And as you know, sure, from everything happening in the world, after pandemic, we need to get more knowledge how we can sell more for customers, how we can attract these customers more. Actually, with your great way, the same as you do, you and Remy, we need to learn how we can do these kind of skills for customers even. Yeah. Sorry to talk too much because I will let for my friends or participants at that if they have some other questions. Thank you.
Fantastic. Really, really appreciate your insight, Mohammed, as well. It really is heartwarming to see someone getting so involved. And absolutely, you are right that it is very important to keep that knowledge updated. And that's why, the University of Manchester is considered as one of the biggest research hubs and university research hubs, not only in the UK and in Europe, but worldwide as well, because of the very great number of workforce as well. We have actually one of the biggest campuses in Europe. I think second or third biggest campus in Europe, and actually first biggest campus in the UK as well. So it's a very, very big university that we have there. And we hope that you'll have the opportunity to graduate there as well. It is, as you've already traveled to the UK, a very, very special feeling to get up on that stage and get your certificate.
Inshallah, William. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mohammed.
You too.
Anyone else would like to ask questions at all? So let me check the chat to see if there are any questions. We have a question here, Remy, as well from Mr. Imran. He's asking, I have a master's degree in commerce, so is there any chance for any kind of exception? So I don't know if Remy, you want to take that one at all?
You've completed the master's degree in commerce. Now, if we go back to the course structure, there will be a component there for the elective units, where you will be choosing one out of the three options. Had it been that your postgraduate credits are relevant to real estate, then they may be able to evaluate it using the prior learning assessment. So this is based on your postgraduate level of credit. So there should be relevance on what you have completed in your master's degree in commerce. Perhaps if you've done something that is relevant to real estate, we can submit your transcripts along with the description, and the course director will evaluate to see if it matches. Because as I did mention, one of the components of the program will be an elective unit, and normally an elective unit can be satisfied by a previous university credit. Absolutely. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. The approved prior learning, absolutely. The APL, which means that you could maybe get an exemption on one of the modules. But with that master's degree, of course, you can apply for the program, Imran, as that satisfies one of the requirements as well to actually be considered for the program. So absolutely. And then in terms of the exception, clarifying that for you. We also have one of the questions from Majid, who's asking if the degree is recognized in the US. And of course, the answer is yes, absolutely. This is, of course, a 180 credit program. So you will have this degree recognized by the UK, the United Kingdom, by the Ministry of Education in the UK. And of course, this can be used anywhere in the world as a master's level degree program, like all of our other programs delivered at the University of Manchester, and may that be the MBA or financial management program. They are all issued in the UK, and they are all offered, they're all recognized, across the entire globe, simply because you have actually access to the same quality of education as those studying in the UK, because obviously it's the same faculty, it's the same content. The only difference is that you're not living and working in the UK, you're living and working in the Middle East.
Just to build on what you have shared, William, the degree certificate as well will be attested by WES. So that's World Education Services. So for most of you who are planning to migrate to US, Canada, or Australia, you will then have to send your academic qualification for evaluation through WES. And we are listed with WES. So just in case, that's the reason why you're asking that question. So.
Absolutely, that's a very fair point, Rami. So I hope that answers your question. I can see it did. Thank you very much, Majik. I don't know if anyone else would like to ask a question. In any case, I was going to say not a problem at all if you don't have any sort of questions right now, but in a couple of minutes, one may pop up into your head. You can always, for those of you who haven't spoken to anyone at the university or program counselor yet, you can always go to manchester.ac.ae, which is our website. You can go onto the programs page, the MSc Real Estate program page, and then you can always submit a callback request or a download brochure, and one of our program counselors will get in touch with you to obviously answer any of your questions, to get insight on your profile and see if you'd be the right fit for not only the program at the university, but to see if it'd be the right fit for your objectives and ambitions as well and your goals. So please feel free to hop onto our website to check that out. Otherwise, you can always go as well to our events page to check out any future events that we may have. We usually have masterclasses and different events that could be related to real estate as well, which could take place in the next couple of months before the start of the program. So it's always interesting to keep in touch with the university as well and what it's doing. And with that being said, I'd just like to share one last thing with all of you before I let you all go. I know it's nearly it is actually 6 o'clock now here in the UAE. So I'll just very quickly share one last thing with all of you, which is actually one of the projects that the University of Manchester Middle East Centre is working on with Dubai Cares. It's called Adopt a School, and it's actually a social responsibility campaign to try and create a school, to build a school in one of the countries that really needs it, especially during this time of pandemic. Education is extremely important to try and support people as well. So this is just a little extract of what we're doing with Dubai Cares here in the UAE. So there you have it. For those of you who are interested in actually participate in this great, fantastic initiative, I should say, you can always visit our website, manchester.ac.ae/SR for social responsibility, and find more details there. And just to let you know, so Dubai Cares is actually playing a key role in helping achieve the United Nations Sustainable Goal, which aims to ensure inclusive and quality education for all and promote lifelong learning by 2030. So by supporting programs in early childhood development, access to quality primary and secondary education, technical and vocational education, and training for youth, as well as a particular focus on education in emergencies and protracted crisis as well. So these are some of the Dubai Cares programs as well, just for your basic information. So things such as recovery and resilience in education in Iraq, transforming refugee education towards excellence, TREE in Jordan. We also have improving children's literacy in Sri Lanka, for example. And you have more information at dubaicares.ae/programs as well, for those of you who'd like to learn more about that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to get in touch with one of us, for example, here are my contact details. I am one of the program counsellors here at the University of Manchester as well, part of the team here. So if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can use my mobile phone for WhatsApp. I do have a professional WhatsApp on this number, so you're more than welcome to use it if you'd like. Then my email address is there as well for those of you who'd like to send me maybe an email for more information. Otherwise, as I did previously mention, you can get on our website, manchester.ac.ae, find the real estate program and submit a callback request, and one of my colleagues will get in touch with you to help you out. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I won't keep you any longer. I know it's past the hour now, so I'd just like to thank all of you for joining us this afternoon. I hope it has been informative. We really appreciate your time this afternoon. I know that these are busy weeks as well here in the Middle East, so thank you very much for your time. If you need anything at all, we're always here to help and support you. Those who want to get in touch, as I previously mentioned, you know where to go. If you'd like to start your application, the admissions process, or get more information, you can always get in touch with the dedicated program counsellors that will be sure to help you through that. And you can always go on our events calendar for any future events as well. So with that being said, I'd like to thank my colleague Remy as well for her support during the course of this presentation. And we hope to see you all very soon on the program. So have a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and do take care of yourselves. And we hope to hear from you very soon. Bye-bye.
Have a good evening, everyone.